All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're basically digital detectives. We've got this huge, kind of messy collection of digital files, and our job is to piece together a person's career from it. Not from a nice, neat resume, but from the raw data. So, let's see what story it tells.
Okay, so to get started, I want to show you two documents from this pile that, at first glance, have absolutely nothing to do with each other. They couldn't be more different.
On one hand, you've got this. It's a super specific, super technical U.S. military standard for engineering parts. I mean, this is dense stuff, right? Official documentation covering everything from what kind of aluminum you can use to how you build fiber optic connectors.
And then there's this, a school supply list for a third grader in South Africa. Pencils, glue sticks, notebooks, the basics.
So, here's the big question. What on earth connects these two worlds? How do you get from military engineering specs to a third-grade supply list, and then throw in legal documents, emails, and research papers all into the same folder? Well, that is the exact puzzle we're going to solve today.
All right, so as we start digging through all this digital clutter, there's a name that just keeps showing up again and again. And that name, well, it's the key to everything.
The name is Chishingombe Fiston. And suddenly, this isn't just a random pile of files anymore. It's a person's story. It's a journey. So, who is Chingombe Fiston? Well, the documents start to build a picture pretty quickly. He's an engineer, and his work is, let's just say, very technical.
And this is a fantastic example of what his work looks like. You've got these super formal, official specs for things like tantalum chip capacitors. But then, right next to it, you've got his own handwritten notes, where he's actually working out the math. It's the perfect picture of where the textbook meets the real world.
Now, let's talk about his background. His education, the paper trail, shows he's got a really solid foundation from the South African TVET college system. That's their technical and vocational schools. And he's qualified in all the core stuff you'd expect: electrotechnics, industrial electronics, engineering physics. You get the idea.
But what's really interesting is that his career isn't just contained to one place. No, this story spans continents. And that means he has to figure out how to navigate this incredibly complex web of different global systems.
So, for example, back in South Africa, we see him dealing with an organization called SAQA. That's the authority you have to go through to get your educational qualifications officially recognized.
Then, for his actual engineering work, he has to be an expert in these U.S. military standards, the Milsteads. These are the super detailed rules for any project connected to the Department of Defense.
And then, when he's trying to get projects funded in the U.S., he's pitching ideas to the National Science Foundation, specifically to something called America's Seed Fund. So you can see, he's operating in all these different official spheres.
And this is where it gets really wild. Just look at how specific, how granular these systems are. The rules go so deep that they prohibit really specific materials, things like common PVC plastics, or even magnesium and its alloys. I mean, to operate in this world, you have to have an absolutely flawless attention to detail.
But here's the thing. This digital trail isn't just about following the rules. It's a story of real ambition. And, it also shows the hurdles and setbacks that almost always pop up when that ambition runs into, well, bureaucracy.
I mean, just look at the scope of what he's trying to do. In 2015, he's in a South African labor court fighting an unfair dismissal case. Then, you jump forward to 2024, and he's applying to be a lead software developer for the UK's counter-terrorism police. The next year, he's pitching to a US science fund, and through it all, he's also trying to get academic papers published. It's just a picture of constant, relentless ambition.
See, he's not content to just do the job. He's trying to push the field forward, submitting his research to academic journals, trying to be part of that larger conversation.
But of course, that path is never a straight line, is it? We found this in his files. Just one word: rejected. It's a pretty stark reminder that for almost everyone, rejection is just part of the game.
Okay, so we've seen all these pieces: the engineering docs, the legal fights, the big ambitions, the rejections. So what does it all add up to? What is this digital paper trail really about?
And this, I think, is the most important point. This messy, scattered collection of files, that's the modern resume. It's not a polished document. It's a real-time log of a person's professional life. It shows all the complicated, messy, and totally human stuff that a traditional CV would never, ever include.
This timeline just lays it all out, doesn't it? In the span of about 10 years, you just see this constant push forward. He goes from overseeing engineering exams in South Africa, to fighting a court case, to taking policing courses to build his skills, to then applying for these huge roles in the UK and the US. It's really an incredible story of persistence.
And all of this really leaves us with one final thought. We live in an age where our professional lives are just scattered everywhere, right? Across emails, applications, social media, project files, we've just pieced together one person's story from that digital noise. But his journey, in a way, reflects the journey of so many of us. So it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What story does your digital paper trail tell?